Éducation
changes you.
change.
A person who's educated
Il y a un monde qui est éduqué.
does not think like a person who's not educated.
Il pas penser dans même gens que un monde qui pas éduqué.
Amen. A person who's
Il y a
educated
un monde qui est éduqué.
does not speak
Il pas
like a
parler.
person who's not educated does not speak like a person who's
Il y
educated.
a un monde qui pas éduqué pas parler même gens avec un monde qui est éduqué.
Okay? A person who's
Il
educated
y a un monde qui est éduqué.
does not like.
Il pas aimer.
They don't like the same shows
Il pas même
on
même
television.
bagaille. Non,
They don't
télévision.
read the same books.
Il pas lire même
They don't
livre.
have the same
Il pas
friends.
même amis.
So when you gotta know your level of
Ou
education.
doit au niveau d'éducation.
Because when there is a serious intellectual gap
Parce que là, il y a un gap qui
in the relationship,
intellectuel dans la relation, hein,
it creates a problem.
il crée un problème.
The person, when one is highly educated,
L'un est réellement éduqué
the other one is not
et l'autre
educated.
n'a pas éduqué même.
Moun ki eduke,
The one who is highly educated,
always feel that they have to bring themselves down
il a toujours senti que doit diminuer tête
to talk to you.
pour parler avec eux.
They want to use that vocabulary,
Yo
they can't because you won't understand.
Yo pas qu'à utiliser parce que vous pas qu'à
They want to
comprendre.
talk about that concept,
Yo voulez parler de
but you
concept
won't
ça,
get it.
mais vous pas qu'à comprendre ni.
So they always have to feel that they have to bring themselves
Yo
down
toujours senti yo doit diminuer tête
in
yo.
order to communicate with
Pour
their
yo
husband
capable
and their wives.
communiquer avec madame ou bien mari.
So that already creates a problem of communication.
Donc ça crée un problème de communication
Dans couple là.
within the couple.
The person who's not
Monde
educated,
qui pas éduqué hein,
feels that the other one is always speaking above
il
them.
a toujours senti que moun nan a parlé
So they
au-dessus
feel
lui-même.
like the one is, moun non ti just snobbish.
Yo
Ou
senti que
kompren
moun
men,
nan ti jan
because you're
arrogant.
educated, you're
Parce que
using those
éduqué,
big words,
wap utilize
wap pale
gros
go
mots,
bagay sa yo.
you're
Donc
using
moun
big
nan
words.
senti ke wap humilier.
They think that you're humiliating them.
Suddenly those things start to create issues.
Soudainement, ça a créé issue.
So when you're getting into a
So là,
relationship,
pour entrer dans une relation,
you gotta pay attention to your level of
vous
education
devez payer attention à
and the
niveau
level of
d'éducation
education of the other
et
person.
niveau d'éducation de l'autre monde.
Now, that doesn't mean
Ça pas veut dire
that those two cannot get married,
que deux couples ça pas
but it
marier.
means that you gotta know what are you gonna do
Mais il dit
to
que
address that.
ça on peut le faire pour adresser ça.
Does that make sense?
Est-ce que ça fait sens?
Okay, is one going to go to school?
Est-ce que une prend l'école?
Are you gonna help? What are we gonna do?
Qui ça nous va le faire?
Man, we have to realize
Mais
that's a
Nous
problem
devons réaliser que ça c'est un problème
and address that problem.
et adresser problème là.
Autrement,
Otherwise,
the family,
within the family,
there's gonna be a major gap.
There's going to be a major.
You guys don't watch the same shows.
Nous pas regarder même
You don't
movie.
read the same
Nous
books.
pas lire même livre.
You don't talk about the same
Nous pas
things.
parler de même
You
bagaille.
don't have the same friends.
Nous pas gen mêmes
You
amis.
don't use the same
Nous pas
vocabulary.
utiliser même vocabulaire.
Nous pas gen même conversation
We
qui
don't have
intéresse
the
nous.
same conference
Finally,
interest.
mariage ça va commencer un
Finally,
problème
there'll be problem within the marriage
parce que nous too far apart from each other.
because nous gagnons un
Est-ce
pile
que nous
gap
comprenons ça,
dans
m'a dit, là?
Do you understand?
So it's very, very important.
So, c'est très très important.
Comme moi te dit,
As I had said,
now there are some exceptions.
il y a quelques exceptions.
Sometimes
Il y a quelquefois,
Sometimes there are people who are highly educated
il y a des gens qui sont très éduqués
without having the degree.
sans pas gagner un diplôme.
Okay, there are some people,
Il y a quelques gens
they just happen to be at that level.
yo just dans niveau ça.
They just have a special gifting
Yo gagne un
and they
don
are very
spécial
smart.
et yo réellement intelligent.
They learn
Vite,
you can put them in a room,
ou capable mettre dans une chambre
PhD students.
avec l'autre monde qui est éduqué très
Within
bien.
2-3 months, they start talking like PhD
Dans
students
2-3
and
mois,
having conversation
yo
with
commencé
PhD students.
gagne conversation avec
But
monde
we
qui gagne
need to
doctorat.
know
Mais nous devons connaître.
Those are the exceptions.
Ça c'est exception.
It's generally not the rule.
Mais généralement c'est pas règle.
Généralement, when you're going to build a family,
Generally when you're going to
when you're
commencer
going
une
to make a
famille,
wise decision,
dois faire
you
une
usually
décision
make the
sage.
wise decision on the
ou
rule.
fait selon
Not the
règle,
exception.
mais c'est pas sous exception.
I read during COVID,
Durant Covid, moi
there was a
li,
guy who was fed up with the COVID.
il y a un monde qui était fâché contre
He was in
Covid.
Manhattan.
Il était dans Manhattan.
Monsieur était dans 33e floor.
He was on the 33rd floor.
33rd floor in Manhattan.
33e
He
floor
was was fed up in life.
Il était fatigué dans la
He
vie.
jumped from 33 floors
Il sautait sur le 33e
down
floor.
in
Et
Manhattan.
dans Manhattan,
He didn't even break a bone.
il n'a pas cassé même un os.
It came out in the news.
Il sorti dans la
I
nouvelle.
don't know how that happened.
Je ne sais pas qui
How
j'en
does
sais
somebody
passé.
jump up from
Qui j'en
33 floor
sorti
and he
dans
had nothing?
floor, 33e
I
floor.
have no idea.
Bah,
Par contre, si j'étais tombé sur matelas,
I don't know if he fell on
s'il
the
était tombé
mattress
dans un sac fatara,
or
I don't
in
know
a
what
pile
happened.
of trash. I don't know
But
what
the guy,
happened.
il est sorti bien haut.
But he came from all the
Okay.
way up there.
Mais parce que monsieur,
But because
t'as sorti dans 33e floor,
he fell off
et puis
the
là,
third
il en
floor
bas,
and
il
he
pas
dropped
cassé
down,
rien. Combien de
he
monde qui va
didn't
le faire
break
même
a bone.
bagarre?
How many people would do the same thing?
You know you're not going to do
Pourquoi on n'a
that.
pas
Because
fait?
you know that's the
Parce que
exception.
vous connaissez son exception.
But generally,
Mais
you go
généralement,
that high,
sous-
you're going to
sauter
break
comme ça,
something or you're going to
Ou
die.
à casser un os ou bien ou à
So
mourir.
generally,
So,
even though in life there are exceptions,
généralement, même si dans la vie, il y a une
you're not going to
exception,
base your life on the
ou
exception.
pas baser la vie sur une
Because the
exception.
exception is the exception
Parce
because it
exception-
generally doesn't happen.
Exceptions sont exceptions parce que généralement, il peut arriver comme ça.
Okay? Does
Right?
that make sense, guys?
Est-ce que ça fait sens?
So intellectual level.
So, au niveau
So it's
intellectuel,
important.
c'est
Now,
important. Kounia,
I'm going to say something that's also very
on
important.
va dire un bagage qui est aussi important.
When intellectual gap,
Le gain en gap intellectuellement,
when you have an intellectual gap
le gain en gap intellectuellement,
between, let me say it that way,
bon me dire comme ça,
it's easier
le plus facile
for a man to bring his wife up
pour un homme capable de lever madame li,
than for a wife to bring her husband
que un
up.
madame capable de lever mari li.
It's easier
Le plus facile
for a husband to bring her wife up
pour mari lever
than a
madame li,
husband, than a wife to bring her husband up.
que un madame lever mari li.
So we gotta know that when it comes to the level of
Nous
education
devons connaître ça,
also.
le n'a parlé de niveau d'éducation tout.
Okay. Parenthetically, Bon me dit ça
Entre
tout.
parenthèses, bon me dit,
I
let me
want to
say
talk
this.
about brothers
Moi, je voulais parler
who
de
are in this
hommes yo,
place.
frères yo qui dans
Jeune
classe.
garçon, I want the brothers to hear this very, 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 very important.
Moi, je voulais jeune garçon entendre ça très 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 important.
Brothers who are not married.
Frères yo qui pas
Yeah.
marié, qui pas marié.
Brothers who are not married.
Frères yo qui pas marié.
You're in your 20s.
Ou dans vingtaine ou yo.
You're 18,
ou
etc.,
18 ans,
etc.
etc.
Before 25,
Avant 25 ans d'âge,
it's the prime time
c'est temps
in your life
dans la vie ou
to go to
pour
school.
aller à l'école.
Surtout pour jeunes garçons.
Especially for the young
Pour
men.
nous apprendre son bagage.
Let me say this now.
Les plus facile
It is much easier
pour une jeune fille mariée
for a young woman to be married
et continuer éducation
and continue her education
que un jeune garçon marié.
than a young man to
Pour
be
continuer
married
l'éducation.
and to continue his education.
Ça m'a dit la réalité de
What
la
I'm
vie.
telling you, this is the truth of life.
It's easier for a woman to get married and continue with her
Le
education
plus facile pour
than a
une
young
femme
man,
pour
than a
marier,
man,
pour continuer
then you get
l'éducation
married
qu'un jeune
and
garçon
continue your
qui est
education.
marié pour continuer
Il y a deux bagages
l'éducation.
qui font ça.
Two things, reason why.
Number one,
Numéro un,
the level of responsibility
niveau de
that the
responsabilité
man has to
que
carry.
homme n'a gain pour le porter.
Généralement,
Generally,
comme
as a man,
c'est vous-même qui avez responsabilité pour to carry the house.
you have the responsibility pour porter
Donc
famille.
cela veut dire, once you get married,
When
all your
le marié,
energy shifts
toute énergie
to carry that responsibility
lui changer pour porter responsabilité ça.
because you are
Parce que ou
and should be
et ou doit
the main provider of the home,
monde qui pourvoyant pour Kaila.
the main breadwinner of the home.
Monde qui fait provision pour Kaila.
So, là ou marié,
When you're married
et puis tant ou te gain pour faire éducation,
and the time for you to get an education
ou pas de prendre,
and you didn't take it,
it takes you a long, long, long time.
la prend pile temps.
Are you guys with me?
Est-ce que nous l'avons?
Right? Okay. Let me give you my example.
Bon bah exemple personnellement.
I give my sons,
Moi bah petit
JJ
moi
and Jashi, I give them my example.
Moi bah yo exemple pas moi.
Right? When I finished
Le mois t'es fini
school,
l'école.
I did my master's in
Moi
theology,
t'ai une maîtrise moi dans théologie,
then law, etc.
après ça, droit.
And when I finished my master's in
Le mois t'es
theology,
fini maîtrise moi dans théologie.
I began my doctoral studies
Moi t'ai commencé études
in
doctorat moi
France.
en France.
You really sa diplôme d'études approfondies.
They call it
So
PhD.
when you do the how do I call it? When you do the courses, because when you do your doctorate, the first part is to take courses,
Première partie dans doctorat c'est pour
and
prendre
the
cours.
second one is to write the dissertation.
Et deuxième partie c'est dissertation.
So I started my doctoral program in France.
Moi commencé doctorat en
So
France.
I finished all my course studies for the doctoral dissertation. And in France, when you finish your course studies, in that time, they give you a diploma. Okay, postgraduate diploma called Diplôme d'études approfondies. Okay, so I finished all my courses. And all I needed to do was to write the dissertation. Okay, now that's something that would take 2 or 3 years. But concentration it would have probably taken me 2 years. Okay. In the meantime, vous connaissez, bah là t'es bon pour même pas de caractère.
I couldn't wait.
Je rencontre avec Pat
I
là,
got a contract with Pat.
tête moi parti, vous comprenez moi, je senti faut rentrer là rapidement.
I had to come back quickly.
So I said, you know what? Let me get married.
Bon marié.
It's just the dissertation.
C'est une seule dissertation.
It's just the dissertation. Let me get married.
Bon marié avant.
And then I'll, I already finished the courses. I'll finish it.
Après ma fin dissertation.
That was 2003.
C'était en 2003.
We're in 2023.
En 2023.
I'm still not done.
Moi toujours pas fini.
What I could have done in 2 years, 20 years later,
20 ans plus tard,
it's not done.
Il toujours pas fini.
Because once I got married,
parce que pendant que je suis marié,
I got responsibilities.
Moi, j'ai responsabilité.
As soon as I got married, I got
marié,
bills to pay. The first thing that we did was to start a business. So I had a bookstore. Then I had a school. Then we did different things. Then we began full-time in ministry. That requires time. Then I have different. Then the responsibilities. The first responsibility that you're gonna have is your family. Your family is gonna require you to get a job or to start a business. The job is going to bring additional responsibility to the family, and the business is going to bring additional responsibility to the family, and both of them are going to be growing at the same time, and both of them are going to require responsibilities. It's very difficult when a young man, you did not maximize the time for school when you were single. Donc, lorsqu'on jeune garçon,
when you're a young man, what you must do,
it. So I'm glad I had gotten myself a high level of education even before I got married. But it would have been tough with all of the responsibilities that I carry now to have the level of education that I have right now. So guys, do not waste your time. Maximize your time. Temps gagné pour étudier, you will not always have it. Don't be in a hurry to make money. Money will come. You will always be able to make money. The smarter you are, the more information that you have, the easier it's going to be for you to make money. You will make money. But do not switch the time that you are supposed to get an education and you try to make money with it. Are you guys with me? So that's very important. The second reason why it's difficult, more difficult for a man once he gets married to get an education than a woman is that generally men tend to be single-minded, focus on one thing. Yo dit cerveau garçon.
They say a man's brain.
C'est un coup like a file cabinet.
It's like a file cabinet.
C'est un coup un cabinet.
It's like a cabinet.
Un cerveau garçon.
A man's brain.
C'est un coup un cabinet gon paquet d'informations là-dedans.
Lots of information in it, like a file cabinet.
Mais you can only open one drawer at a time.
Il
gon paquet d'informations.
Many information in it.
Mais on can open one drawer at a time.
Mais un seul tiroir qu'a ouvrir à la fois.
So on fille.
So a woman.
Li doit parler dans téléphone.
She might be talking on the phone.
L'a changer couchette.
She was changing diapers.
L'a regarder télévision.
Watching TV.
Et puis la fait manger.
And she's cooking.
Right? A woman can do all of those things at the same time. A man generally cannot. Donc si on garçon a regardé télévision, la taille la mettre crasé, il va attendre.